Ced went to prison in the 1980s and the 1990s for drug trafficking. Ced was one of the ones who had got money on the road.
Now my big cousin Ced was one of the ones, you know what I'm saying, I admired growing up. Was one of the ones in the game. Hey Ced, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Cedric Brown, OT, for as they call it, for life. Started out in them streets and got out of them streets. And I'm here to tell you it can be done, and you need to do it because it's a whole setup.
Ced, when you say you got out of the streets, what you doing now, Ced?
I'm operating a trucking business, man. I started it for myself back in 2001 and been going strong for the last 24 years. So you can't leave them streets alone and get legit.
And Ced, you did some time. What's your incarceration history?
Well, I'll tell you the Reader's Digest version of it is you get them little small charges in Miami. They don't tell us their convictions. You end up going to get that year and a day in the county. Then they send you to get that DC number, and once you get that DC number, you can go back. Now, my first stint in corrections, it only lasted maybe a year or two because of the CRD, which was the control release states, that they used to kick out game time every Wednesday, depending on the number of beds that were available in the system. So, for instance, if they was overpopulated, they would kick out 75, 80, 100 days every Wednesday off your sentence. And every Wednesday they put out a chart, on the bulletin board that told you what came off your time. So, of course, a young person in there getting out fast, they ain't going to learn nothing. So I got out quick, got right back into it, didn't learn no lesson, and went back on a big trafficking charge. On that trafficking charge, you ain't getting out right now on that one easy. You're going to do some time. So my next stint was almost 4 years. So after that, I learned actually I learned while I was in, because at some point you got to look at it and say you can't keep doing this over and over again, because eventually you either going to end up on somebody's t-shirt or you're going to end up in here with what we call a Buck Rogers state, which means you'd be probably getting out right about now back then.
And Ced, I know your cars, man. I remember like I was talking about when I was small, we was going to Regina's wedding, we was in that vert, man. Now, was those cars worth that, like, you know what I'm saying, taking that risk for your freedom?
No, man, that's part of the setup that I mentioned earlier, because, we young, we black, we probably ain't had much growing up, so we see a way to get something fast, and it's the streets, it's a dope game, it's a scam game, it's robbery. So them cars, that jewelry, them clothes, all that stuff ain't gonna be worth it when you sitting up in them penitentiaries looking at the calendar flip over, doing the same thing every year, for year after year. And when it come around holiday time, that's when it really hits you. So it ain't never worth it, bro. The cars, jewelry, like I say, the money, that name on the street, it ain't gonna get you nowhere but in the penitentiary, and that's gonna follow you forever. So it can't never be worth it for that, man. I'd rather be riding in a hoopty and give up all them cars and get money to be able to have a clean record and be able to do whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And Ced, like, you done did that, you done it. You did the game, you did the time, you did everything, you know what I'm saying, like you're supposed to, like a real soldier. And now, life on the road. How your life is now, post incarceration?
Oh, well, you got to even go before getting on the road. I got out with the work release, got a job, and there was times where I was tempted. Some of the people that that we hung out with, they were still active, and they said, "Come holler at me, I got you." And I had to resist that temptation, because I know eventually you might be good for a year, you might be good for 2 years, you might be good for 3, but you're gonna be right back where you was, and you come back after that trafficking charge, you really gonna be in there after that, because that trafficking charge is 250 points. It's on the lines of kidnapping as far as a scoring system to get you into the penitentiary. So I just kept working, figured out a way to get my CDL, worked for a company for 3 years, and then decided to go into business for myself, and then look back. And once you about a year or two out and you're on a legit side, this is a message for anybody going through it. You can get there. You just got to resist that initial temptation to get back what you was doing before, because you got to realize the value of your life and your life to your family. And they can't keep seeing you behind bars, or you can't be missing out on being a dad. You can't be missing out on being a son to your mom, cousins to your family, because you're sitting in them people's system, because they got you set up from day one. Because ain't none of us is really profiting from that drug game. It's the higher ups, but they use us on the streets as pawns in the chess game, because the pawn get knocked out first. So you
Yeah.
can do it. You just gotta, maintain and just say, I'm tired of it. But once you see it from a 30,000-foot view, where you realize that I see the game for what it is, because I'm in now. Next man up on the street, he gonna be in now. Next man on the street behind him is just a revolving door of us getting killed and going to the penitentiary. And for what? To have a fixed up verdict, to have chains around your neck, to have clothes? Nah, bro, your life worth more than that.